everybody, Edo here, and we're coming to the end of the year, so I decided to do a top 10 games I've reviewed this year, and I asked Seth Johnson to join me.
Hey everybody.
Seth has played all but one of them, which is fantastic, and this whole year has been all about watching Hot Ones on YouTube. If you haven't seen it, it is an awesome show. First we feast Sean Evans, and essentially Sean interviews people through a sequence of 10 questions and 10 progressively hotter wings, starting with sriracha and going on and on. And I've been watching it so much, and I like to watch food shows, but in a food show you can never taste the food. And it occurred to me, I could be watching somebody struggle with heat and then know what's happening to them by acquiring said sauces and doing it on my own. And then I think a coworker suggested I merge it with my top 10, and I have. So I will be eating a wing from starting with the lower, moving to the end as we talk about these 10 games. I have to make one note. Every single sauce except the 10th, Blair's Mega Death Sauce with Liquid Rage, I had actually found it, can't get it anywhere. I found one, and then it was stolen from my porch when delivered. I mean, crazy. So I looked at some Scoville chart, and they said that Melinda's Red Savina hot sauce was actually one notch above it. I don't know. It looks a little pleasant compared to Mad Dog 357 or Da Bomb, but we will see. I will make the commitment, though, if anyone can find a bottle of that sauce, Blair's Mega Death Sauce with Liquid Rage, I will do another review.
Yeah, if you find it, I'll make sure he has a shot or two.
Right. So, but without further delay, let's talk about the 10 best games that I reviewed this year. And after in the post-editing, I'll add links to them.
Sounds good. And usually Edo does a great job with these videos on his own. I'm just here in case he's incapacitated and can't carry out his duties.
So Seth has some games that aren't on the list in the case that I'm just not
on the floor. Falls out of frame.
So to start, right, we have sriracha. I'm a big fan of sriracha. These are all numbered. Thank you to Emily for setting this all up for me. And let's begin. Oh, these are also banchan wings, which are awesome.
Tasty.
If there's one near you, so.
Very good.
So, first up is Snippets. This happens to be one of the games that, Seth, you haven't played, right?
Yeah, this is one of the few I have not played with you. That's correct.
And it's one of two Kickstarter games and I do a ton of Kickstarter reviews, but Snippets is awesome because it's a word game where you're trying to create words out of a snippet. So out of, like A-B-L-E or SNI or PB or any of these words, and you're building words out of them. But what's so awesome about Snippets, it really makes it stand out. And you just, 1 minute, make as many words as you can. I mean, that's the game. ING, 1 minute, as many words as you can. TRB, whatever the letters are. But you can use real words, made up words, like fictional characters and the whole 9 yards, and it just makes for like a very different headspace than, say, Scrabble.
Very cool. Whatever you could make.
Yeah. So I did the review. The game funded on Kickstarter, so hopefully in maybe 6 months I'll have a copy. But for now, we have a piece of paper. So that is number 10 on the list. So let's continue on. We had the sriracha, and actually I'm going to move these down so that we can reveal. And now we have Tapatio, another one that you'll find at restaurants like sriracha. I'm a big fan of all of these early sauces. So we moved them. These are all nicely labeled. So save me a mistake. Try to figure out a way to get these to stay hot and film, and it's really tough. Really tough. All right. So.
And I'm holding these so Ed doesn't get hot sauce on them,
and after these two Kickstarter ones, the rest actually have boards and boxes. So Vikings Gone Wild was the other Kickstarter game. We have played that together.
Very fun game.
And it is really fun. It's a deck builder type of game where you are trying to build up your Viking town. And as you build up your Viking town and your archers and your swordsmen or axemen, you're essentially improving your hand. And you get gold and beer, and all the characters are wild, and then there's these hero characters that come into play.
You slowly upgrade your village.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the other really neat thing about this game is it has an attack another player element, but rather than one where you really hurt the other player, this game just rewards you for attacking without hurting the other player, and it really makes it for having a little bit of tension, but not a game that, say, Emily would move away from.
So fun aggression.
Fun aggression. Fun aggression.
Which is pretty perfect for Vikings Gone Wild.
Yeah. And so, highly recommend checking it out. Another Kickstarter. This was wildly successful. I think they made $250,000 on this Kickstarter, give or take. And it's probably going to be released sometime soon. So, Vikings Gone Wild. I will note, talking this much while having hot sauce in your mouth, is a different thing than just eating hot sauce. But three is El Yucateco. This is something you can find in stores, but one I had not had before. It's interesting. So Sriracha's got that Asian feel. Tapatio is very burrito. And El Yucateco is as well, but this is a little bit more not barbecue's not the right word. It's richer than Tapatio. And slightly more spicy.
That's the way it's supposed to be.
I skipped dinner, so I'd be hungry. So if you take a time to watch Hot Ones, and I highly recommend it, the Key and Peele episode. What's the one guy who jumps to the end?
Oh, Eddie Wang.
Eddie Wang is a good one, but Kevin Hart, Tom Colicchio was on yesterday or last.
Yesterday.
They give the Scoville ratings and have all the fun stuff and better questions, perhaps. So,
but no games.
Hey, and if you're happen to be somebody who isn't into board games, what are all these games? Games are awesome. Board games are awesome. These are all good games you'll enjoy and play.
Absolutely. These are some of the 10 best of the year.
Yeah. Or that I reviewed, because some of these are a little older.
Yeah.
All right, so next up is a game called Akrotiri.
One of my favorites from this year.
Yeah. Now, Akrotiri
this year.
Yeah, is really interesting. This is a two-player game. It's head-to-head, but a lot of two-player games are typically don't have a lot of board space and have players head-to-head card game, or a couple regions we're fighting over and battling in terms of a smaller space. But Akrotiri, you're trading in, what is it, old...
Ancient Greece?
Ancient Greece or something. But it's a tile board that's growing as you play. So you're building out this gigantic board, and there are all these temples that are coming up. So as it grows, players go in different ways to collect resources, and there's so much game there.
It is a really great feel of exploration.
Yeah.
You're actually, as you build the board, you're literally exploring. You're trying to find hidden temples by kind of building the locations where you've heard those temples are. It's a lot of fun. Really clever game.
Yes. And again, I'll link all the reviews while I go, and in the reviews, the board's open. I explain the game more, if you're interested. But great two-player game. I also wanted a quick honorable mention of Longhorn, which is over there. It's not in the top 10, but this is just a really fun, simple head-to-head game where players are have cattle that they're moving around a small board versus each other, and they're collecting cattle. And it's sort of, I don't know if it came up before or after Five Tribes, which was one of my favorite games of all time, but Bruno Cathala has a similar pick up and move mechanic here, and it really works. So I love this game. It wasn't in the top 10, but it's also a two-player one, and this is a two-player head-to-head that's a lighter feel than Akrotiri. So let's move along. All right. This is Pain, We're Good, and we have a good example of what it feels like. This is the most barbecue-y Louisiana of the bunch, and
the good news is I've had kind of a cold this week, and my sinuses are starting to open from just sitting here next to you. So this is medicinal reviews.
Yeah, smelling the tray was pretty brutal. So I have some other napkins. All right, next is Dr. Eureka. This game is awesome. Go ahead.
It doesn't seem like much at first. We sat down to play it, and Ed handed me a few tubes full of marbles.
Yeah.
And I said, oh, what's this? And then we started playing, and it's pretty fast, frenetic fun. It's a lot of fun.
You have the tubes that the marbles are in. And I think they're cutouts in the front, right, of the box. And you're basically, they're set, and you have a recipe in front of you, and you have to, without the marbles falling out, pour them into it, pouring over here, then pouring this one into that one and this one. And it's a dexterity game, but it's so unique. It's so well done. It's tons of fun, and you can level it up by having to hold all the tubes in your hand.
It's like competitive real-time Towers of Hanoi. It's a lot of fun.
It is, and good. Not for 3 and under, right? But otherwise, it's fun. So I had a lot of fun with Dr. Eureka.
Yeah.
All right, let's keep on moving.
Move on?
Okay. So next, well, we did this one. So next is the Hot Ones Hot Sauce. This is their mix. And probably, I think this was the first one, actually, I bought of the set before I started working upwards and backwards to get more. This is a really good hot sauce. Sean asks everyone when it comes on the show, and everyone tends to say that it's good. It's nice because it's fruity. There's a place up in, I'm in California, in Marin. It's a Puerto Rican place called, I'm blanking on it. But it is all
Soul Food.
Soul Food, thank you. And it is got a similar sort of fruity, thin sauce like this, and it's good, and this is really good. And not too hot. Getting hotter.
You're still looking forward to them at this point.
This is about where it ends.
No fast forwarding.
Yeah, well, so this is sort of the front half, right? Next up, Mysterium.
Yeah. Game that's on a lot of people's lists.
Yeah.
But it's a great game.
The art and component production value on this game is like amazing. It's amazing. Maybe you can turn the box around and show them.
Yeah.
But it's got this huge shield with slots for cards. You put crows in the top.
But the art is just beautiful, which it needs to be for the gameplay.
And this is an asynchronous cooperative game, which is to say, one player is this dead ghost. Everyone else are paranormal mediums, and they're trying to figure out how he died, who killed him, or where, who, and with what. But you can't talk as the ghost to the other players, so what you end up doing is a little like Dixit, where you're showing cards on the table and so everyone has cards already laid out, and I play a different card as the ghost to sort of influence you to pick something else. But they all have like 3 weapons on them, different colors, so any card can sort of apply to a lot of them. And so, sorry, my cohesion, but it really works. On the for a simple game, it's a little hard to get started. It's so different than games you've played. I find the rule book and sitting through it was a little like rough, but
once you get into it, I think once you make it through the first game, we were pretty quick to hurry into our second, and I've played it a number of times since then, and had fun every time.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah. All right, so, Mysterium.
All right.
And again, in the reviews as well, I'll say who designed it and published it, and I'll have some notes. Maybe I'll even link some of my favorite Hot Ones episodes. So this is High River Sauce Rogue, High River Sauce's Rogue. These are getting hotter. Sorry. But let me make sure I get to the 6. Is this one, right? Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
This is a bright color.
He's not shying away from eating the whole thing here.
No.
You have to admire his bravery.
Well,
I don't know if it's bravery.
a lot of times, so some of these sauces I've tried, actually, this one has like an orangey flavor. It's really good. But we don't make wings at home all that much because making wings is sort of a pain in the butt, right?
Mm-hmm.
But eating wings is a mess. So I'm getting it much more everywhere. So what we're at, the next up is Steampunk Rally by Roxie Games. Another one of just incredible components. It comes with like 120 dice. Okay, hold on a second.
It comes with a ton of dice. It is quite literally an engine builder. You are building the engine for your giant steampunk device as you all race these crazy vehicles through the course on the board. And it's a lot of fun to kind of put the clockwork contraption together and watch energy feed into components, and you can use them to affect your vehicle and other vehicles, and pieces can break down and fall off.
Such a good idea to have you on the show. Yeah, and the thing that I love about this, we talked about this game in our 5 great game mechanics video, or theme and mechanics.
Right.
You're building these contraptions, and the way the game works is you're like putting dice on contraptions and taking them off, and things are working and not working and breaking, and it's got this sort of like feel to the game.
It feels like, it looks like a really short track the first time you look at the board, and as you feel yourself kind of lurching down the road, you start to realize what a challenge it can be to actually make it to the finish line in one piece.
Yeah, and it's so well done. And then they also have backgrounds on all the inventors or whatever I guess inventors.
Yeah.
And also each and every card in that game is well themed.
Right.
And again, just like these are getting hotter, these are. I mean, this is a great game. I mean, these are all great games, and I like games. So like, I have a big list of games I like, but these are getting into like games I super like, I guess. Okay, so next up, we did this. Move this down. Next we have paying 100%. And there's actually a line of these. It's like paying 90%, 95%, 100%.
You've committed. You're going all the way to 100%.
Yeah. And some of them have a long list of ingredients, and some are just like habanero peppers, water, tomato paste. That's about it. So you're just peppers. But I have to eat it.
You're making me want to drink something here.
Sorry, I think I sauced that one a little heavy-handed.
Why don't we get the game?
All right. Next game up is Ocean Explosion, which I know is a game Ed loves.
I do love that game. It hurts me to say it right now.
He stopped me in the ground when we played it, and made him love it even more.
Yeah, actually, unfortunately, I like this game so much. I'm so good at it for whatever mixture of like what I do normally and how my brain works that like sometimes I have to like sit back and not play as hard as I like. But
What's great about it, if you've never heard of it or seen it, is it too has a ton of components. In this case, marbles.
2 marble games this year.
Yeah, so I don't know if you can see here. It comes with effectively a little marble tray. You drop all the marbles at the top, and they roll down in here in rolls of colored marbles, kind of like pachinko. It's like a pachinko dice tower.
Yeah, it's exactly what it's like.
Yeah.
But what you're doing, or like a mobile game match 3.
Yeah.
And you pick marbles out, and then they collapse, and then they sort of explode. That's potion explosion, and you get more. So you're like collapsing and drawing it, or then building out and making potions. You actually build the machine. Warning, like Terra and Meeple City, this game has like a half-hour to 45-minute build phase before you can play. And so you just don't be like buy it and expect to play it after dinner that night. You got to like put it together.
Right.
And so lots of fun. You can simplify it. Kids play it on their own. We play it as adults. Really like it.
Yeah, it's pretty great.
It's pretty great. So we're
heading to the home stretch here.
This is the home stretch.
Do you need a second to recover, or are you ready to press on?
I can probably press on now.
All right.
But these sauces get really, really hot. This is The Bomb, Beyond Insanity. One of the interesting things here is we have this Hungarian friend who like butchers pigs in his backyard and creates stews and stuff. And he actually, I remembered after seeing it on the show that he had it, but he'd put like a little teaspoon into like a
whole
pot.
pig. Oh.
Yeah, like a cauldron that he was like had on an open fire out back, and it was hot then. And you can notice this one's really dark, really thick. And it's number 8.
Sorry.
No, it's... and you like turn it and you're like, no, it all looks painful.
Is there a safe place to start?
I'm sorry for that a lot.
That's all right. So next up is Ed's number 3 game to go with the number 3 wing, which is Concordia.
It's a spectacular game.
Yeah, it's a pretty great game. Let's see, all about back in the Roman Empire, about establishing cities and collecting your resources, and it's a lot of fun where you're trying to build your trade network and kind of get the citizens of your city that will help you. Anything you're ready to add?
Upon reflection, I regret the best games coming last because I can't say as much as easily. It hurts so much to talk right now. Concordia is awesome because it has a complex trading and area control game, but as a player, you're just playing from a handful of simple actions.
Right.
Really fast, really fun.
And don't forget that Ed has done full reviews for all these games. This is kind of a recap for the year, so either he'll put links somewhere down beneath the video, or you can go back in his channel and find the videos where he's not semi-incapacitated doing the reviews.
Mad Dog 357, hottest from the first season, second hottest, second season, possibly hottest I'll do. This is Scott Moore Scoville's, but super hot. My lips and faces are on fire.
You've broken out in a sweat. I definitely hit the physical symptoms here.
1 second.
All right.
Hey, talk about
I'll talk about one of my honorable mentions here while Ed recovers here. A game that wasn't on Ed's list, but just because he hasn't had a chance to play it, but is one of my favorite games of the year, is Vast: The Crystal Caverns. And I'm trying to convince Ed to play it so that he can do a review.
Not tonight, man.
Not tonight. It is a wildly fun game. It's a game that involves, the traditional theme of a hero going into a cave to steal the dragon's gold, fighting goblins along the way, and there's a thief who's trying to steal it. But the crazy thing is that the game takes up to 5 players, and it's wildly asymmetric, in that each player plays a different role. So one player plays the hero, another player plays the dragon, another player might play the goblins, another player plays the thief, and the 5th player might even play the cave. And you can play any combination of those. And it's a really cool, really crazy, really fun game. It did really well on Kickstarter. I actually got my copy just before Gen Con this year. And it's actually back on Kickstarter right now to go back and do a second printing, this time with miniatures, which looks super cool. And they're going to add even more roles to the game.
Sounds awesome.
So it's got awesome stuff. Super cool, worth checking out.
Okay.
Ed's gone in for number 2. His number 2 game is
Great Dinosaur Rush.
The Great Dinosaur Rush, which is a super fun game. So gathering little wooden pieces that you then use to build your dinosaurs, both real and imaginary, where you're competing to show off in museums.
But what's amazing is you are collecting these bones and actually building out the skeletons, and there are these rules. But it's got this both artistic piece and procedural feel, and it's amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a lighter game, but it blew me away, and I was totally surprised. Scott Alms makes tons of games, but it's probably one of my favorite.
Yeah, he's done the great Tiny Epic series. He did Best Treehouse Ever, which was another one of my favorite games from this year. But he keeps putting up good ones.
Yeah, man, he's prolific. Prolific guy.
All right, here we are at the finish. Can you squeeze in the last one? All right, I'm going to talk about one more of mine.
Sorry.
No, that's all right. It's fun to watch you, but they can watch you while I talk. Another one of my favorite games from this year is Kodama, The Tree Spirits. A great game designed by Daniel Solis, put out by Action Phase Games. And it's a really gentle, sweet game with gentle, sweet art where you lay out cards to slowly build your tree. The cards overlapping, and you can choose how they overlap to stretch out the branches. And what's really cool about it is the game plays out in phases, and you actually get to choose how you score each round. So you kind of control the flow of your game as your tree grows. It's a lot of fun. I really enjoy
I
it.
reviewed this. It wasn't in my top 10, but it's a great game. Heard so much to talk, but I'll link it.
Which is sad because the last game on Ed's list is, I know, one of his favorite games of the year. He always wants to play it and loves talking about it. So check out the full review if you haven't seen it.
Last one. If you watch the show, it's not on it, but whatever.
You had a whole spiel about it.
I had it before.
So there it is. Your favorite game of the year, Istanbul. Brilliant game.
So good. Moving around, merchant. It just doesn't really matter what the game. It's so much fun. It's so well designed, so well balanced, so interesting, so fast moving, like Concordia but faster. I think you should check out all the lists. But if you just watch one review of mine that I explain it, look at this one. This is a great one.
And you're a big fan of playing it with the expansion, correct?
Mm-hmm. Great expansion. I have it up there somewhere. But anyway, no, seriously. Okay. This is a really fun game. Istanbul, thematically it's very Euro, right? Mm-hmm. But you're collecting resources, building them up, and spending them, and working towards jewels and gems. And it just has a great flow and feel. These are all great games, all totally different range. And I don't have more wings.
Look at that. You cleared the plate. Clean plate club.
Your mouth, your gums, your lips.
Your teeth?
Yeah. What a great games. Lots of tons to play and review. I think you could try any of these and enjoy them.
Yeah, it was a year of good games, most definitely.
Thank you, Seth.
Oh,
And
always happy to play games, and I didn't have to have any of the wings. So.
yeah, and again, really fun show. So
Thanks for watching.
Yeah, subscribe, share all that good stuff. Most importantly, play some great games.